What's up, guys? Haven't sat in front of a camera and talked for a while, and to be honest, I kind of miss it, even though this feels really weird. I thought I had gotten used to it, but I guess not. Anyways, I had a pretty ridiculous year this year, probably the best year of my life, so I wanted to sit down and kind of recap and vlog about it and kind of just talk about what I learned this year and my plans going forward, more for myself than anyone else, just because this is something I really like doing, but hopefully anyone who watches this can get something out of it as well. So to talk about what I learned this year, I kind of have to go back a little bit. So I was always a very weird kid. This isn't like a, oh Max, you're so weird kind of video. Like, actually, I was weird. Like, I didn't have a lot of friends growing up because of it. My parents took me into like therapy and stuff, even though they didn't tell me it was therapy for it. Found out later, I just have really bad ADHD. Maybe that's the big reason for all of it. I don't really know. But anyways, one thing that always hooked me, always grabbed me was video games. That's what I would spend a lot of my life doing ever since my parents bought us a PlayStation 1 and Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. That was my first ever game. I want to say I was like 4 or 5 at this time. Maybe I was a bit older. You know, they've always hooked me. I've always wanted more, even though, let me tell you, that game sucked and it was hard. I don't know why I liked it. I like hard games now. Maybe that birthed my love for hard games. But anyways, aside from that, I was also always into video content, video making, things with cameras, kind of like what I do now. Unfortunately, as a kid, that's pretty hard to get into because cameras are expensive, they're hard to use, and the internet was really weird back then. YouTube didn't really exist, and also, my parents didn't like us using the internet, so me uploading videos onto it was just never a thing that happened. So I always just made videos for myself of like my fingers fighting or like Legos and shit when I was a kid, you know, stuff kids do. But anyways, growing up, I did this stuff so much. Like, I was either always playing video games or always doing videos. You know, I still played sports, I still went to school, did my homework and all that shit, but like a lot of my free time was spent doing this, and I never thought there was anything wrong with it because these games sucked me in. I love seeing these different worlds people come up with. I loved the stories they told. I loved that sort of stuff. You know, I also still loved movies and books. That was another thing I did. I read all the time. I just like stories. You know, games also tell stories, just people who play games didn't realize that. But anyways, I was always told that that was weird, that I'll grow out of it, that it's something that I shouldn't enjoy. But because I did enjoy it so much and I didn't have a lot of friends that enjoyed it, it did feel wrong. It did feel weird to me to like these things that I like. And that kind of progressed through high school and even through college, only the difference was in high school, I actually started making a lot of friends and stuff, more not because like I was fake or anything, but more so because I catered to a lot of what people liked. So I made a lot of friends because I kind of catered to being that person that they could like, that they could talk to and stuff. You know, that's not a bad thing, and I still have a lot of friends from high school, which is awesome, that I still really enjoy talking to. But long story short, the point of all this is that it wasn't until like late 2016, early this year, that made me kind of realize like I was always kind of not me that whole time because I was always told that me is weird. But early this year and late last year and everything was when I sort of realized that like, no, there isn't anything wrong with me. Being me isn't weird. In fact, I like being me, and I think everyone should be them and not kind of cater to what everyone else says they should be. So it was because of that I decided to just throw myself into everything I liked, and so far that has resulted in this year being the best year of my life. This isn't because of some like dumb New Year's resolution or anything like that. It just so happens that a lot of the stuff I did was in late 2016, early 2017, and carried on into this year. So I want to get started into that. So folks, grab a coffee and let's go over 2017. The first thing I did was this year I decided I wanted to be more comfortable in front of a camera and sort of be talking improv, because if you don't know, I joined Coalition in the middle of 2016 and I was always on their weekly podcast, and I wanted to become more comfortable just talking improv, you know, talking in front of a mic, like I just said, talking on camera, that sort of stuff. So what I did was I started a daily news show. I did it 4 days a week, and it really worked for me because it gave me content to talk in front of a camera and microphone each day. I didn't need to necessarily think of a script or think of a bunch of content, have to try and force myself to come up with something every day. The news, it happens every day. I just read about it and give my opinion on it. That's easy. That's something I can do. And first it was not very good. It was a show called Yesterday's Games Today, and it was all right. It was what you'd expect from someone just starting out on YouTube, just maybe a little bit more production effort thrown in. But anyways, I stuck with it because my main goal wasn't necessarily to get big or anything. It was to learn how to use a fucking camera and talk in front of it comfortably, which, looking back and even thinking about now, is probably a skill that I'll always be working on and will never be fully comfortable in front of, but maybe, we'll see. But anyways, I was just doing the math before this video, and I ended up doing almost 4 videos a week because I did it Tuesday through Friday. Every once in a while I had to miss a day or two for various reasons, but the point is I did it for 16 weeks straight. That is freaking awesome. The fact that I was able to dedicate myself to doing something daily for that long, that's really cool in my opinion, and that's something that I'd never really been able to do before. So being able to do that was really awesome, and it actually led to a whole bunch of other opportunities. First off, it allowed me to build some sort of community with my channel that fortunately I don't really upload on anymore because of other reasons that I'll get into later, but it allowed me to build a community, allowed me to voice my opinion more, to kind of grow a little following on Twitter, to just discuss games with people because that's what I like talking about with people. That's really fun. I enjoy doing that. It boosted my Photoshop skills, boosted my video editing skills like crazy. It boosted just me shoving a bunch of stuff into one day. Like, it showed me how much you can actually get done in one day. And let me tell you, you can get a lot done in one day if you dedicate yourself. Plan it out. Also during that time, thanks to Gary Swaby and Richard Bailey Jr. over at TK, I was able to go to fucking PAX East 2017 in Boston, Massachusetts back in March. This was like right after the Switch came out, like a couple days after. And I was able to go there. This was my first ever convention. I got to go as press, talk to a bunch of indie developers. It was fucking awesome. I actually have a vlog about it that I will link right up there that I made back then, right after the show, so that goes more into depth with that. But anyways, the point is I got to go to my first convention, talk to people and stuff. That was awesome. That's something like I had always dreamed of doing. Always seeing everyone do on TV, reading about it on like IGN and all those other big ass game websites that I don't read anymore. But then through my like pushing of daily videos and everything, I was approached by this dude, Sully, who goes on YouTube by one guy's opinion. And this was just pure luck, honestly. It was sort of pure luck. The reason he discovered my channel is because I posted so much that YouTube's algorithm promoted me higher. So he was able to find me. If I hadn't done these daily videos, he probably never would have found me. So like, it is part luck, but it's also like part because I dedicated myself to doing that he reached out to me and came to me with this idea for a network of gamers creating content called Gamecast, and if you've been following my channel or me at all, you'll see that Gamecast actually turned into something later in June. He approached me, and I want to say early March, maybe it was mid-March, maybe it was right after PAX, it was something like that. He had this idea for a giant network where we do like game reviews, news, opinions, original shows, original content, and all that, and it's still very much in development, as it probably always will be, but the point is, because I was able to dedicate myself to something so much, it opened up other opportunities for me. He came to me, we started building this network. We launched it on July 1st, which was, wow, I still can't believe that was that long ago. It feels like fucking ages ago, but it was only 6 months ago. But anyways, backing up a little bit, right before the July 1st launch of Gamecast, thanks again to TK, Gary, and Rich, I was able to go to E3 in LA. Holy shit. This was like a life dream come true. This was like, like when you're a kid and you're sitting in front of the TV watching E3 every single year being like, holy shit, that'd be really cool to go there. I actually got to go there thanks to them, which was absolutely insane. And hell, meet them for the first time. Gary's from the UK. It's like the only time every year he flies over here because it's so fucking expensive. So I actually got to meet him after talking to him online for just about a year at that point. That's absolutely insane. I got to meet a bunch of other people. I had already met JJ and Anthony Nash through PAX, but I got to see them and hang out with them again. I also got to meet Charles and Tony, got to meet Tatiana. I got to meet people that I ended up working with later on that I'll get into later. Got to meet a whole bunch of wonderful people, which is really cool. A bunch of people I talk to on Twitter all the time, interacted with, talked to on podcasts. So that was really, really interesting and kind of surreal. But absolutely loved doing that. That was just a life goal accomplished right there. And then through Gamecast, Sully and I were actually able to build like this massive network of people. We have, we've lost some people, of course. Some people have kind of faded off. That always happens with these sort of things. But I think we still have like 15 active people in it right now, give or take. We're on hiatus right now just for the winter, but we're coming back with some really cool ideas and new show ideas. But anyways, the point is, we were able to just, from nothing, gather all of these content creators and launch a platform of video creators creating all different types of news content, video content, review content, opinion content, all this different gaming content. Like, that's really awesome. And I've grown to like talk to these people on a daily basis. I consider a lot of them my friends. That's really cool. Like, we're all trying to meet up in LA in March of 2018. We're actually gonna hang out. And again, we talk to each other about everything, not just games. It's really interesting and really cool. Again, we're coming back with some really new cool ideas, and I'm excited for that. Hopefully that's something that can really take off and get some momentum behind it with 2018. But anyways, this was also a big turning point for me in July. We had July and August. I was really going forward with Gamecast. We were creating a lot of content. And then around August, I ended up having to move home because I stopped going to college. This is probably only a gap year. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing with that, but I don't know. I just really wasn't feeling it, and I really wanted to kind of pursue all of this stuff that I was doing. My whole life has been school, and I just wanted to actually see what it's like to not be in school for once, to actually see what's going on. And, I changed my major a lot. You'd think I would have been a senior. I was supposed to have been a senior, but because I changed my major so much, it would have been another couple of years before I graduated. So I figured, if there's a time to take a break, it's now. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I ended up moving home, and a lot of stupid personal drama happened, and it kind of put me into a little rut from September to late October, which was kind of weird considering the year I just had. Anyways, I won't get too much into that, except for the things I learned from it. The things I learned are things I had always really known, but really got to experience this time around. See, in the world, there are people called they. It's the best way to categorize them, as theys. And see, theys are people that sort of pose as someone who is your friend, who wants to be there for you, but really is secretly bringing you down. Whether it's on purpose or not is hard to say, but they're kind of like leeches. They latch on to you and just kind of drain all the drive and happiness out of you. And it happens over a long period of time. It's kind of like coffee. You have coffee. It's like you try it once, you get that kick. You're like, holy shit, I can accomplish so much in the day. It's really good at first, but then you kind of grow a dependence on it. And then eventually it gets to the point where it's not good for you anymore, but you don't know how to get off of it. It's a bit extreme when it comes to coffee, but coffee can be addictive, and people go through withdrawals with it. It's the same thing that happens to people. You start questioning, why is this person doing the things they're doing? Do they realize they're doing the things they're doing? And you don't realize it's draining on you. It's just becoming this thing that's leeching all of the life out of you, and it's awful. And then it kind of, like coffee, just stops going slow and goes like this. Just kidding, I didn't actually pour coffee on my lap. There's a bin here. I say do anything for content, but don't pour coffee on your balls for content. Life lesson from a 22-year-old. But anyways, the point stands. Those people, they just kind of get in your way. They just kind of ruin your life a little bit, and you have to just learn to cut them out if you want to do anything with your life, if you want to make it, if you want to be successful and be you. So that's a lot of stuff that I learned having to do that. And then some crazy good shit happened. I ended up getting this position at a website called TechRaptor, where I'm a staff writer. I make video content, I do news content, reviews and stuff for them, so I've been kind of throwing myself into that, which is awesome. And then on the other side of things, this is a very new development. This happened late November, early December. My freelance writing career kind of took the fuck off. I'm not rich, I'm not making bank from doing it, but it got to the point where I was making very little money doing freelance writing, to the point where this started early December, I ended up paying for everyone's Christmas presents, hanging out with friends, going on multiple dates, going down to the city, Chicago, spending days down there, all with money from freelance writing, paying off my credit cards too, like all from freelance writing money alone, like in less than a month. That's absolutely insane. And unfortunately, it's taken a lot of time away from like games writing and playing games and stuff, and I was kind of spent the last month out of that. But to be fair, that was also what contributed to that was like a lot of the stupid shit that happened in the games industry, like WB and all that Shadow War drama with Charity, and like EA and the loot boxes and Forza with the loot boxes. It's like it pushed me away from it for a little bit. It's like there was so much bullshit going on with that. There's so much like, it's not about the games anymore. It's all about who's trying to screw who over and shit like that. So it was that combination of two things that kind of pushed me away from the gaming scene for a little bit. But I've had a good break from it. I think I'm trying to get back into it. I want to be back to making video content like this. I kind of fell off of my own channel because I was working with Gamecast so much, and while that's still going to be a big part of everything I do somehow want to get back into making content for my own channel as well. I also have a few ideas for video series I want to start making, even when I'm not actively making video content, I'm always, thinking of video content. I think in video content. That's always what I've done. That's what I do. I like doing it. So that's something I'm working on. Hopefully you'll be able to see next year. It's this really big idea I have on kind of a lot of what I've learned this year about being yourself. I kind of want to bring out what games have taught me growing up throughout my life. I want to bring that out and see if that can't be taught to other people. See if games can't teach and be good for other people, not be seen as the negative stigma, kind of addictive time waster that they are seen as. But yeah, if that project ever gets off the ground, you will see that here on the channel, me talking about it at least. You can follow me on Twitter. You'll see me talking about it on there. I have a few ideas in the pipeline. Always have some things we're working on. Everything's been a bit slow the past couple of weeks, for obvious reasons. It's been Christmas, family's been here and all that shit. But yeah, I think that is about it. Wow, I haven't sat and talked in front of a camera for a while. That was fun. I need to do this more. So yeah, long story short, 2017 was a ridiculous year. Dedicating yourself to something that will attract other people, which is really cool and open doors for you. Stay away from people that are theys. It's important to sit down and just kind of self-reflect on the people in your life, the people who are in your life constantly and frequently, and kind of think about if they're really adding or pulling away from your life. That's something I spent a lot of time doing this year, and it led to a lot of drastic changes, but changes that I think are for the better. One thing I forgot to bring up. Support groups are a major key this year. I got really close with some good friends who like to do the same things I do. That was really cool. I never really had that until junior year of college. I never really got to find people who like to do the same things I do. And even through this, one of my friends, Graham, he actually ended up starting a car channel this summer, and it just fucking broke 100 subscribers. I think it was last week. That's absolutely insane. So happy for him. He actually just put up a vlog as of the time I'm recording this, so I'm going to link that in the description down below, or maybe in one of those fucking annotation things if I can do that. So be sure to go check him out, subscribe to that, because that is absolutely insane. I actually haven't even watched the vlog yet. I'm about to go do that after this. I'm so excited. 100 subs in like 6 months. That's absolutely insane. He's about to hit 10k views if he hasn't already as well. Maybe before 2018. Stay away from they suck. Have a support group. Just kind of do you, man. Like, doing you, you can be the best you possible. And I don't know, people don't like to see other people kind of doing their own thing, it seems like. There's a lot of people that shit on that, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because they feel like they can't do their own thing. I don't know, but again, those are theys. Just ignore those people. You don't want to be someone else. You want to be you. You want to be the best you can be, and that's the best thing that I learned this year through all of this bullshit that I went through. And that's something I hope to carry over into the future through all of my work and all of my future projects. So yeah, I think that's about it. It's a long-ass vlog. I can't believe this went this long. I didn't expect it to. I've been wanting to make it for a while. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter if you haven't already for updates on all of my different stuff. I'd say subscribe to the channel. for more content, and I can't guarantee that, but I do want to be putting content on the channel, so we'll see. You know, check out Gamecast though, because that's where I'm always putting content. That's where a lot of my video content is spent with. You know, check out the Coalition, Tech Raptor, you know, places I write. A lot of just genuinely awesome people at all of these places I've talked about and written for and done content for. You know, just that's another thing. Gaming has just introduced me to a bunch of amazing people, and that's really cool. A bunch of genuine, some of the nicest people I've ever met. And that's another reason I like doing this and wanted to stick with it. It's just a lot of cool people. So yeah, thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you soon.